city leaders want change after New Year's Eve revelers clogged up a Dallas bridge and overpasses. Cars were piled up on multiple overpasses with people trying to get a glimpse of the fireworks show at Reunion Tower. And while some were just watching fireworks, others were setting off their own. Fox 4's Amelia Jones is live with reactions to the traffic chaos. Amelia.
Hi there, Eden. It's against Texas law to stop, stand, or park your vehicle on a highway or bridge like many people did last night. The driver I spoke with found herself caught in the middle of it. She told me the atmosphere was like a party, and all she could do was sit there and wait. We know traffic in DFW can be bad at times, but New Year's Eve was another level. TxDOT cameras captured the sea of red as people stopped or parked their cars for a view of the Reunion Tower fireworks and drone show. Our Fox 4 camera saw people out of their cars, mingling on the highway while they waited for the show. Melissa McAtee left AT&T Stadium around 11 p.m. after working the Cotton Bowl.
And I kind of slipped out a little early thinking, oh, I'm going to beat the traffic. Ha. Didn't happen.
Instead, she found herself stuck in gridlock.
45 minutes on the highway trying to get into downtown Dallas. You can see there's the exit for Riverfront. People parked everywhere.
McAtee says people were out of their cars and celebrating.
And to my right were two lanes of parked cars. And there's a guy with his lawn chairs out. Another lady had sparklers, and her granddaughter was holding the sparkler. And I was like, this is like a party.
Not the New Year's party McAtee had planned, but with nothing to do, she put her car in park and waited it out.
And I bet it was like 12:30, 12:35 when we finally started moving.
This video sent to Fox 4 shows people trying to get off Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge after the fireworks and drone show. City Councilwoman Laura Krenda told us she received several calls from people who weren't able to get to their homes because of the gridlock traffic. She reached out to the city manager to come up with a solution.
It was a crazy experience.
The Dallas County Sheriff's Office confirmed it is against Texas law to stop, park, or stand on a highway or bridge, as many did. But with the number of roadways impacted, the Sheriff's Office says there aren't enough law enforcement officers to clear them.
I just had no idea it was a thing. I would have gotten off earlier if I'd realized it was going to be traffic. I didn't intend to be stuck there.
A big concern is for emergency vehicles to get through traffic, and if they can't, then major calls for crashes or medical emergencies could be delayed. We've seen traffic issues like this in the past, but many people who posted about it say this New Year's Eve was even worse. Eden?
Yeah, just a mess out there. Thank you, Amelia. Well, Fort Worth police are investigating a shooting involving a security guard. It happened just before 6 o'clock on South Riverside Drive. When officers arrived, they located a woman with an apparent gunshot wound to her chest. She was later pronounced dead at the scene. Officers detained the suspect who works as a security guard for the location. Detectives say the guard and victim got into an argument, and the victim grabbed a, quote, stabbing weapon and moved toward the guard before being shot. Homicide detectives are investigating, but police have not announced any charges. And it felt a lot like fall here in North Texas during the first day of the new year. Temperatures hit a high of 71 degrees earlier today. Chief Meteorologist Dan Henry is in studio with more. Dan.
Hey there, Eden. Temperatures still mild at this hour. We've only dropped down to 65 at DFW. We've got a kind of a veil of clouds across the area right now. That combined with the south breeze keeping the temperatures fairly steady, 65 Love Field, 60 at Alliance Airport. That disturbance is bringing some light rain to our north up in Oklahoma. Here's a little closer look. There might be a passing sprinkle in a few spots, especially up along our Red River counties over the next few hours, but nothing more than that as the air is very, very dry. And there's a look at temperature cast. Overnight lows will fall back into the low to mid 50s, and highs tomorrow on the mild side once again should be in the 70s in most locations. It will turn a little cooler briefly for the weekend. I've got details on that with the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you, Dan. And now to the tragedy in Switzerland, where a fast-moving fire killed at least 40 people on New Year's Eve as they celebrated at a bar. It happened at a popular and well-known Swiss Alps resort town. More than 100 people were injured, many with severe burns. And while some eyewitnesses say a champagne sparkler may be to blame, officials stress the official cause remains under investigation. Fox 4's Casey Stiegel is live in studio tonight with an update. Casey.
Eden, good evening. The U.S. State Department tells Fox 4 they are closely monitoring the situation and stand ready to provide assistance to any American who may be affected by the tragedy. Officials say the victims are from multiple countries and warn the death toll could still rise. A night meant for celebration turned deadly as flames devoured a crowded bar known as the Constellation. Popular with teenage tourists, it's nestled away in the posh ski resort of Crans, Montana.
A lot of people were screaming, trying to escape, and I saw a lot of people on the floor, and I think these people was dead.
Eyewitnesses describe a scene of pandemonium as New Year's Eve revelers realized what was happening and rushed the exits, trampling over some victims.
There were a lot of people at the entry trying to escape, and was full, and people was walking on everybody, and trying to escape.
Once out in the frigid cold, bystanders jumped into action.
I think problem was the temperature shock from the heat inside to the cold outside. So one of the priorities was to get everyone warm.
Swiss authorities say the fire grew so intense it likely set off a buildup of flammable gases, leading to a sudden flashover or explosion. Video showed medical helicopters rushing patients from the scene. Officials declared a state of emergency because Switzerland's burn centers quickly became overwhelmed. Some patients had to be airlifted to hospitals in neighboring countries.
Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot hide it from you. We are shaken by what happened last night.
Investigators have not corroborated partygoers' claims the fire started from a sparkler, saying it's too early to tell. The U.S. Embassy in Switzerland has established a hotline for victims. State Department officials are encouraging Americans traveling in the area to contact their relatives and let them know they're safe in order to expedite the identifications.
Behind these numbers are faces, names, families, destinies brutally cut short or forever shattered.
Less than 24 hours after the New Year's tragedy, a makeshift memorial has gone up outside the resort, which is set to host downhill skiers for their final events ahead of the Winter Olympic Games. Swiss authorities say that some of the victims are so badly burned they are having to use DNA and dental records to make a positive ID, adding that it is a process that could take several days. Eden.
Oh, just so tragic. Thank you, Casey. U.S. officials have announced strikes on 5 more alleged